Well, to be honest, before the divorce, life was all sunshine and rainbows.
Life before my parents' divorce was good.
I never thought anything would happen, but things happen.
In the process of handling the divorce, it was disastrous.
In a world where 50% of marriages end in divorce, we're here today to discuss exactly how this impacts the children of said divorcees and how they navigate their relationships, whether the responses to this are healthy or not. I'm here today with Natalie, whose parents got divorced in 2017. Natalie, what was life like before the divorce?
Well, to be honest, before the divorce, life was all sunshine and rainbows. As a kid, you never really expect anything to go wrong because you never get to see what's happening behind closed doors. So life was okay, life was good. I never thought anything would happen, but things happen.
So what was your view on relationships back then?
I mean, as a 10-year-old kid, that's not something you really find yourself thinking about. Because, my parents were the only people I'd ever seen, together. But I'd say it was very neutral. I'd say it was very okay. It's not something that you'd find a typical 10-year-old thinking about or whatever.
So what's your view on relationships now?
That's a good question. Well, right now, I'd say when it comes to relationships, I'm very key on how the person communicates and how they control their emotions. Those are things that are really big for me. I don't like people who are avoidant. I don't like it when you can't say what's on your mind because I'm an overthinker and I overthink situations a lot. So I also need to understand what's going on with you so that I don't feel like I'm being a liability, to you. I think I was maybe 16 when I met this guy. He was the first person I'd ever called like my boyfriend and everything. And honestly, for me, how I approached it, I was very like hesitant because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how he was gonna like react. If you're like me, if like I'm afraid of rejection, hands down, I'm very scared of rejection. I don't like rejection in as much as there are many things in life that you won't get. Everything can't go your way.
So how do you resolve conflicts in your current relationships?
If I haven't made that clear enough, communication. I need you to talk to me. I need you to tell me what's wrong. I don't need you to tell me everything. There are some people who obviously won't open up and tell you immediately, like this and this has happened, and that's totally okay. I'll never ask you for everything, but just even a small sentence such as, I can't talk right now, I'm not doing okay. That's enough for me. I just need you to tell me and let me know so that I'm not making up 1,000,001 scenarios in my head. Because remember, I am an overthinker. I overthink a lot. I overthink a lot of situations.
So would you link these patterns of thinking and needing communication to your parents and their divorce?
Yes and no, because my dad wasn't someone who was really big on feelings. He's very hardcore, and I don't blame him for that. It was mostly because he didn't have a dad around. So even him raising me and my brothers, I wouldn't say he didn't know what he was doing, but he probably is doing what he thinks is best, but he just doesn't know how to approach some certain situations. And sorry, and yeah, he doesn't know how to approach some situations, and sometimes me and my brothers will take it as like negative criticism, or like he's just being harsh on us just for the sake of it. But later on, now that I've grown up, I've actually come to understand that okay, dad maybe meant this, but he could have approached it better. You get me? I'm not saying I'm soft. Okay, maybe I am, but I just need you to not lay me down slowly, but also lay me down slowly. You get me?
Yeah.
Like talk to me, but don't talk to me harsh. Don't talk to me like you're talking to your other corporate colleagues in the office. Don't talk to me like that. Talk to me like I'm your daughter. You get me? So I feel like that's a mistake maybe my dad made. For my mom, how she was really big on emotions and feelings and all that. And it's both a good and a bad thing because there's some situations that require feelings, there's some situations that don't require feelings. So I liked that my mom was emotionally there. She never made me feel embarrassed about having to talk about my feelings or communicate and all that. So I'd say maybe the way I approach certain things is mostly because of my mom. She's the one who taught me communication. Like if something is wrong, say it. Like speak, because if you don't speak, then the problem is not going to be solved. Because also you have to keep in mind when my parents divorced, most of the decisions laid on me. I was the one who was deciding everything, and sometimes it felt like I was speaking sides, and I didn't like that.
So we've looked at how divorce affects young adults from a feminine perspective. Now I'd like to look at it from a male's point of view. How did you view life before your parents' relationship broke up?
Life before my parents' divorce was it was good. I mean, the fights were there, like any other home. We could hear sometimes our parents shout at each other, but it's common in any relationship, which I came to understand as I grew up. When I was in primary school there in class 7, we used to go to court a lot because my mom wanted us, and at the same time my dad wanted us. And life was good, but in the process of handling the divorce, it was disastrous. We had to leave our house because our mother didn't want us to stay there. So life changed. I had to change schools because my dad was the one paying my school fees, but my mom didn't want us to associate with my father in any way. So I can just say life just became shitty. It was pathetic.
So how did you view relationships during that period before they officially separated?
I used to see relationships or marriage as vital. I used to see it as something important because I was brought up in a home where that's what I saw. I saw it as a system of like unity. Yeah.
And how do you view relationships now?
I wouldn't recommend anyone to be in a relationship. Yeah, to be very honest. Because what I saw my father lose from the relationship with the divorce settlements, losing his properties from something that they called love, I wouldn't advise men to go into relationships at all.
But based on that background, how did you approach your first relationship?
What I saw my father go through losing his things, it made me develop trust issues on women. And even the first woman I was with, or the first girl I was with, I didn't really like trust her because from the foundation I thought she's maybe just here to like ruin things, or she's gonna like ruin me first or hurt me first. So instead of even taking the relationship with so much respect and belief it deserves, I cheated on her thinking that she would cheat on me first. So for my relationships, I've ruined all of them. I've actually ruined all of them.
So do you link the way you, or do you link your actions to your parents, your current actions
Yes.
in relationships?
Yes, I link my kind, and I don't know if I use it as an excuse to not look at the truth in whole perspective, but I usually blame my parents for how I have turned out in terms of having relationships. Yeah.
Right, I'm here with Abigail, who's a psychology graduate from Daystar. She's also practiced psychology for a few years.
So one important thing I think to understand about the relationship between children and parents, number one, is that our parents are models.
Yeah.
In many ways, they model a lot of things that we learn about the world. You know, we do a lot of observational learning when it comes to looking at our parents. You know, we are sponges when we're growing up, so we're absorbing a lot of what is around us. It changes your blueprint of how relationships and families work, I think. And now all of this, of course, can look differently based on how acrimonious the divorce was, maybe the kind of parenting styles that the parents had after now the divorce, you know, also what was the relationship between the co-parents after the divorce ended. These are all things that now could end up affecting an individual growing, growing up. You can even find scenarios where now children grow up and now they're like Actually, I don't believe in that marriage institution altogether. It could either be from a point of I just don't think it works, or it just doesn't make sense, given how things played out with their parents.
So, what steps do you think can be taken by these people to start forming healthy relationships and partnerships and attachment styles?
So it's not enough to say that awareness is all you need. You need to be aware and want to work on changing your thinking styles, changing some of your inherited beliefs. You also have to want to do the work. So I think once you're ready to hold a mirror in front of your face and really look inward and try and figure out, draw the line between scenarios where am I letting my past affect my current relationship.
I'm here with Pastor Jane, who works as a marriage counselor, and we're here to hear her thoughts on the young adults' responses on how they're navigating their relationships. From what you've heard, what are your thoughts on that?
Divorce affects children differently, but it affects them in one way or another, emotionally, psychologically, and in just how they process life, in how they think about life, in how their relationships are, in how they develop. Yeah.
So, what unhealthy attachment styles have you heard from these responses? And do you think they developed after the divorce?
A lot of attachment issues. If the divorce was acrimonious and there was a lot of fighting before that divorce, some children actually feel guilty. They feel like they were somehow to blame for what happened. So they approach their relationships with a sense of guilt, a sense of inadequacy, and it's like they expect to fail before they even start.
And what impact do you think this has on their future, like their self-esteem, their identity, and they talk about fear of marriage and even having children?
It actually can have a devastating effect on their future, because sometimes we say some of these things happen in cycles, and unfortunately they repeat that cycle. Because they've gotten into this expecting to fail, it's like they set themselves up to fail. And then their children also get into that same cycle. The other thing I've noticed is that the children get very, they tend either to take on more responsibility than they should, because they feel they need to take the place of the parent who left. If it's a girl child, many times she feels the responsibility to take the place of her mother, to cook, to clean. If it's a boy child, they feel like they need to go out and earn, get money, take care of their mother. And if it's a firstborn, sometimes it's even worse.
So what steps do you think they can take to navigate forming healthy partnerships now?
Support. The parents need to realize that their children need support. It's not just about them going through this divorce. Once you have children, you're a family.
Okay, we've been joined here by Anne, who works as a counselor. And based on what you've heard and from your experience in that work, what would you say determines whether a child or even a young adult is negatively or positively affected by this divorce?
First of all, it's how are they prepared for it? Okay. What communication style did the parents use? Are their needs, have their needs been managed through the process? If there's going to be a financial downgrade, that can be quite destabilizing.
So what advice would you give to children or young adults whose parents are currently experiencing divorce?
I would tell them that it's not about them. They are not the cause of the divorce. The parents have had their disputes and decided to go that way. And maybe it's a good choice for them, maybe it's not. But it's not about them. When the storm is over, they might even be in a better place.
Divorce can have devastating impacts on someone's emotional and psychological state of mind. But there are counselors like Anne and Pastor Jane who are willing to lend a listening ear to air your problems out. Don't go through life alone.